Hello and welcome back. First of all, I would like to apologize for the length of the video. I know I promised 2 videos ago, I think it was, that it would not be that long ever again. And yet somehow, by some miracle that is not in any way, shape, or form feeling like a miracle, I even surpassed the length of that video. I don't know how. I don't know how this happened, but it did. And now, I guess we just have to deal with it. Alright, again, also, something else. There will be a pause. I think it's like 26 seconds, something like that, where there's nothing happening. And I apologize. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if my camera was being stupid or I was being stupid, but something happened, and I'm sorry. This is just going to be me apologizing for 7 minutes. So firstly, inspiration behind the piece. So I have a super secret project that I'm starting to work on now, with some super secret people that I can't really talk about at the moment. But basically, one of the requirements for my super secret project is I have to be good at landscapes. And as I'm sure you will probably be able to notice from this video, I'm super crap at landscapes. For one thing, it's depth. For another thing, it's just overall placement. I don't know what it is, but there's just something about landscapes that have never really worked for me. So I thought it would be a great time to try and work on that. But I had absolutely zero inspiration. I had no idea what I could possibly do as a landscape. Because I was like, well, we're not entirely sure what kind of environment this super secret project is happening in, so I can't really practice with that specific environment. So logically, it would make sense to try a whole bunch of different environments and kind of progress with each one. I was like, okay, this seems like a really good idea. We'll go with this one. And then I realized I still had zero inspiration. I had no idea what I was going to do for this. And so I was sitting around avoiding work and sketching when one of my co-conspirators for this super secret unknown project called me a hobbit because I'm very short. And once I got over my initial irritation at being called a hobbit for the 100th time, I was like, oh, that makes sense. I'll do a hobbit hole. And then I was like, oh my god, can I even do a hobbit hole? And whether I can or I can't, I guess will be determined by you guys based off of this piece. I personally like it quite a bit. I can tell where I need improvement, and I can tell where I can easily kind of work on things. But other aspects, I'm like, I don't know how I could possibly fix that. But in terms of supplies, I used my, I think it's Royal and Langnickel Essentials watercolor paper, and it's 119-pound paper, and it's the heaviest paper I've ever used, and it's absolutely beautiful. It did ripple a bit, but I think if I'd stretched the paper first, or maybe masked it to my desk, that wouldn't have happened. So I think it's something that was easily avoidable. In terms of, speaking of watercolors, I used, as always, my Windsor Newton Cotman you can definitely be sure to see more environment and landscape art in the future, as well as hand studies. I promised hand studies. But I think for a first attempt, this went pretty well. I can see where I need improvement. I'm sure you guys can see where I need improvement. But for the most part, I think it went pretty well for a first jump into the project. And I think I'll be able to produce some cool things in future.